Captain's log, stardate 54.835.3. We are currently on course for the next system inside the triangle and would have arrived a few hours from now, though long-range sensors did detect something in space about half a light year away from the next system. But due to the particle's effect on our sensors, we could not get a clear reading on the object. I have ordered the ship to alter course for the further investigation. It could be possible that we found the missing Excelsior-class starship, the USS Kent, but we will not know for certain until we arrive. End Captain's log.
All right, so I'll give you guys some reference here about where your location is inside the Devil's Triangle. So the last mission you guys were here at this system, and you are currently here about half a light year away from the system you're going to, which is here. Hopefully everybody was able to see all that and all my random clicking on the screen. Yep, that's where you're going. The ship is roughly where you're at. So yeah, like I said, you're probably coming up on that object now, and we'll take it on the bridge.
Lieutenant Nadan, anything on our scopes?
Scanning now, Captain.
All right, this is going to be reason and either science, engineering, or security. Difficulty 2. Assisted by the ship's sensors and whatever discipline you use. So I guess this will be a difficulty 1 at the end of the day.
Okay.
All right, you get 2 momentum out of it.
And has anyone rolled the ship yet? If not, I can.
I
had it up. What did you say for the ship?
Sensor science.
Sensor science. Okay. And it's just 1 dice, right? Yeah. Pushed it. Oh, there it goes. I did not get anything.
Missed by 2.
Interesting. Captain, the craft ahead appears to be a single occupant design, allowing for a pilot. There is a primitive warp engine. I'm not seeing any other form of propulsion.
Oops,
are there any life signs?
I forgot to say a lot.
Oh, okay.
So on screen, you see a small craft, no bigger than a small shuttle drifting in space. The craft is slender in design and comes to a triangular point at the nose of the craft. The craft appears to be undamaged, just from what you can tell.
Am I detecting any life signs when I scan? It appears to be devoid of life signs, Captain.
Nadan, would be able to tractor the ship into one of the shuttle bays. What would be the risk to the crew? It has been floating out here for a while at least.
We should be able to, Captain, yes.
What's the potential hazard due to the radiation?
If there's any biohazard, of course, that would pose a risk of potential infections. If there's anything radioactive within the ship, that would potentially pose a cross-contamination risk.
Lieutenant Casey, lock a tractor beam on the shuttlecraft and tractor into Shuttle Bay 1.
Aye, sir.
All right, Casey, this is going to be a control security difficulty of 3. And I believe this is assisted by structure weapons.
I think you are correct.
When was the last time we had to tractor something?
Yeah, but we use shipboard weapon systems for tractor beam, right? For focus?
I believe I said yes because you're targeting it.
Yeah, right. Okay, in that case, I'll generate a threat for an extra dice. There goes nothing.
Should be structure security.
Yep. Someone else got it.
What was the difficulty?
Damn. It was 3, so you get 2 momentum out of that. There we go. Now my threat is and Casey, you're able to tractor the small craft into the shuttle bay without any issue. And the
Roger that.
And the team in the shuttle bay gets to work decontaminating the outer hull. You know what was not taken care of by the by passing through the shielding.
Number 1, assemble a team to begin an investigation on the shuttlecraft, find out where it came from. Helm, resume our previous course. Factor 7.
I kept. And the ship heads off into warp.
So the ship's currently sitting in Shuttle Bay?
Yep.
Okay.
Pick your favorite. Pick Casey's favorite shuttle bay, and that's where it's at.
Casey, what's your favorite Shuttle Bay?
I don't know how many we had. I assume more than one, so Shuttle Bay 2?
I said Shuttle Bay 1.
Oh, gotcha.
Well, there you go.
Shuttle Bay 1. Okay. Let's take Nadan and DeGrasse. Will communicate down to Chief of Engineering and request that Mendrock meet them at Shuttle Bay 1.
Aye, Commander. I'll head there immediately.
Okay, so it's just you, yourself, Mendrock, and Nadan. Was that it?
Correct. At least for now.
Cool. So you guys head down the shuttle bay, and the crew finishes decontaminating the shuttle for you, so you don't have to worry about any protective equipment or getting sick or injured or anything. Craft is in remarkably good shape for being in space for for a while.
Well, Nadon, Mendrock, let's
Aye, Commander.
work. Yeah, let's see what we can do. Nadon, if you could please tell me if this matches any known craft in our database, anything even remotely related to this design or outfitted with this technology. Mendrock, I want to see if we can begin disassembling this and if that would present any danger to us or the ship.
It doesn't match anything in the database, Captain or Lieutenant Commander.
I'll take Captain. If you, I'm kidding.
And I believe he's a full commander now, right?
Or Commander. Sorry. I was looking at the Discord
Oh yeah,
thing
no
where
worries.
he's still listed as a Lieutenant Commander. My bad.
I believe everyone's being demoted today.
Yeah, I was gonna say, easy come, easy go. Captain to Lieutenant Commander. Okay. And Chief?
Get right on it, Commander. Do you want me to literally take the ship apart?
I want you to tell me if that would present any danger to us or the ship. I want to make sure that, you know, if we do start trying to pick through this to see exactly what it is, if
All right.
it's going to present any immediate danger.
I will. Well, all right.
Give Mendrock, give me an insight engineering difficulty 1.
Insight. All right. Diagnostics.
Yes.
All right. Commander, the ship is actually remarkably well intact. I might be able to even just restore power. If that would be more preferred.
Yes, let's try that.
All right. I will. If it's safe to go aboard, I will go aboard and see about restoring power to it.
Take an EVA suit.
Oh, that's a good idea. I will put an EVA suit on first.
All right, I'm gonna make that an opportunity cost, however. All right. So Mendrock, upon entering the craft, you're able to get the slide, the door open without any problems. Upon entering the craft, you have a look around and see the craft's pilot still seated in the pilot seats, clutching the controls as if they were still flying the craft. Unfortunately, it is just a mummified remnant of their former self.
Doctor?
In the
Please.
space behind the craft lies a blanket with animal depictions that you don't recognize. And in one of the corners are open food and water packages, empty yet piled neatly.
Well, Mendra to medical. Doctor,
This is Dr. Corin here. What's
Please.
going on?
please come down to Shuttle Bay number 1. And you may want to bring a team. There appears to be a mummified remains of a pilot aboard the shuttle.
Right. Should I assume to put on EVA suits?
Yes, I would definitely do so. He looks mummified, probably similar to the other ones we've seen in this system.
Roger that, Chief. Medical will be right down.
And I will relay this to the commander. Use my comm badge so I don't have to open the door of the shuttle back up or whatever vessel this is.
Understood, Chief. ETA on when power might be restored?
I can see about doing that. I was just concerned about the pilot body in here and the open food containers.
Okay, understood. I'm assuming DeGrasse would be aware that he's requested the doctor's assistance, so...
Yep, and I will see about working on restoring the power.
Understood, Chief. Use your best judgment.
All
What are
right.
you here for?
So, Mendrock, really, you have two options to turn on the power. You could recharge the power from the inside using your engineering toolkit with the portable power supply. Alternatively, you could literally just hook up a power cable to the outside of the ship.
I will use my toolkit for now, as I don't want to connect anything to the ship just yet.
I'm gonna spend some threat here. I'm gonna make this a control or daring and engineering difficulty complication range of 2.
And what was the difficulty? That cut out.
Difficulty is 1.
Oh,
Complication
okay.
range 2.
You said control or daring?
Control or daring with your
Alright.
engineering score.
Alright, I'll do control and engineering. And I will buy a die. So I can activate cautious if need be. And I would like to reroll that one with cautious.
Yep. All right, you get your momentum back. So Mendrock, you hook up your power supply into one of the panels inside the craft, and almost instantly the power to the entire craft is restored. Everything from the lighting systems to the computer terminals, and you can
Wow.
even hear a little hiss from the life support systems. On the pilot's control panel, you could see readouts of the engine system, which appears to be kind of like the diagrams to like an early warp system. Another panel has a deflector and shielding controls. And another gauge is like a simplistic oxygen gauge, and you're able to translate it as it reading a liquid oxygen level. However, its reading is at 0 currently.
Mm-hmm. Alright. I will take this data and share it with the commander.
Chief, by the craft's design, do you know if the liquid oxygen was used as a fuel source, or do you think it was used in some sort of biological capacity for life support?
It was definitely used for life support, Commander.
Okay.
The warp engine components are very similar to what you guys would use. You know, dilithium crystal matrix creates a warp bubble when used. Those things are pretty like telltale signs that, like, you know, it's a early warp engine. It still uses dilithium fuel source, things like that.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was kind of thinking, was a Zephram Cochrane ship that had a rocket component and then a warp component afterwards. I didn't know if it was more something like that, like an experimental craft. Okay. Well, Chief, this looks very primitive, even based on my knowledge, and you know much more than I do.
Commander, I agree. It is very primitive.
Is there any way for us to access the computer systems from outside the craft?
Can I hook something up to do so? I believe so, Commander. I can probably ring something to do so, or
Okay. Given the fact that we feel the need to wear EVA suits on the inside of the craft, if it's possible for us to just download the entire database contents of the craft to the outside, and then for us to pour over the data to determine what species this is from, what its trajectory was, and any other information, I would prefer to do that.
Aye, Commander. Can
If
I
it's
just
possible, I was going to say, if possible, please ensure it's isolated from our own computer systems. We don't want to have a situation where, you know, obviously it causes unknown effects on our own ship.
Oh, of course, Commander.
Thank you, Chief.
And the doctor and his and a few support staff enter the bay now.
I will see about isolating the computer system and having it either download to like a pad or transporter or something.
So you exit the shuttle, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I will let the doctor do his business.
Okay.
All right. I'm here now. What kind of shenanigans do we have today?
Well, welcome, Doctor. It appears that we may have found another victim of the radiation.
Yeah, there's a pilot mummified to the command, well, to the only console in there. He's
Right.
still in his seat. It looks like he was surviving on stored rations or whatever until the end.
I pull out my medical tricorder and begin examining the body. I wave to one of the other medical to begin scanning the rest of the ship and taking down any other possible information that might be of use for a more clear picture. And I have the last one go through and check anything that I might have missed or might have been missed by the decontamination crew.
All right. So your two are reporting back. It seems that the decontamination crew did an excellent and thorough job, and they did note that it appears that the ship seals were still intact. So nothing really from the outside the ship came into the ship. Like
That's
nothing
good.
in space came inside. So all the seals were still intact and still functional. So what were you doing specifically, Doctor?
So I'm looking over the body to see if the corpse really is, like dead, or if there's like any chance at all that maybe, like I don't know, if there's any chance that I can do anything.
Okay, go ahead and give me a reason or insight with medicine. I will make this a difficulty 0.
Okay. Uh, and let's see, xenobiology, infectious diseases, composure, maybe.
Um,
I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't think any of those would apply in this case.
No. Okay. All right. So reason medicine. Here we go. Oh, hey. Okay. I got 2 successes, a
Yep.
2
So
and a
you
3.
get 2 momentum.
Oh, nice. So that's 4 total. Yeah. Okay. All right. What's going on with this thing? Body is definitely dead. Okay. Uh. Oh, 90 years old. Okay.
Like
Give or
the
take.
the body has been dead for about 90 years.
Yeah. So the body is okay. So, huh. Well, he's definitely been dead for right around the same amount of time as the what was it there? The ship, the other ship that we saw the other day, the Kipler, or the what was it called there?
Kepler.
The Kepler. Yes, thank you. Oh, yeah. Would I be able to identify what species it is?
I will accept that as a question. I believe you have to spend for it, though, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yeah, sure. Let's spend for that question then. Yeah, what species is it? Would I be able to identify it? Oh, a new species entirely. Oh, wow. Okay. This is an entirely new species. As far as I can tell, the Federation has never encountered something like this. It's You said it was humanoid, right?
That is correct.
Okay. So so it's humanoid, but it's a type of being we've never encountered. Uh, can I tell if if I were to remove this body and take it to sick bay, what would I guess would I be able to do that without, potentially contaminating the crew? Or would I have to examine it here?
Um, so it does have some radioactiveness to it because it has been in space with the
Right.
particle for 90 some.
For yeah, a while.
um but you could probably be able to transport it to sick bay
Oh, true.
and put it behind like a
Transporters,
medical.
and then you
Yeah,
know,
get it behind a medical force
and that
field.
would, right. Okay, yeah. Um, sure. Let's do that then. Chief medical to transporter room.
Go ahead, doctor.
Can you transport the can you would I be able to like okay, so this is out of character. Would I be able to attach some kind of would I need to attach something to it so that it could be transported to the medical
They're
bay, or is that
they're able to get a
unnecessary?
lock on it from
Okay.
sick bay or from
Could
the transport.
could you transport could you transport the body in this shuttle to medical and also myself?
Right away, doctor.
Thank you so much.
So if someone wants to grab your transporter chief and give me a difficulty 4 control engineering roll.
Oh shit.
Actually, so
about
with
that.
your advanced sensors and the sick bay and the transporter room advantage,
Mhm.
I think that's only a difficulty 2.
Oh shit. I didn't think about this. Oh no.
The only thing is though, like we're doing internal, so yeah, base 2,
Oh yeah, it is an internal thing.
so we don't have to drop the shields.
That's
Correct.
true. That too.
But they're
Yeah,
doing it in
so
the transporter room, so it drops difficulty by 1.
Yep.
Difficulty goes up because it's not on a transporter pad and you're not
Mhm.
transporting to the pad.
Mhm.
So
And then your advanced sensors will bring that
yeah,
back
so
to
it
2.
should be 2.
Yep.
Okay. That's not
hey,
terrible.
if Casey wants to use Sokolov.
Sure. Although doesn't the other one, Knight, have the transporter focus?
Yeah, but Knight's usually been on the bridge lately.
Plus, it's an activation for another character that you probably want.
That's true.
Knight is fully decked out though, so that's why I'm saying like use another.
Okay, yeah. You know, we could probably make Sokolov the transporter chief, like the official one. Anyway, it was control engineering difficulty 2 after modifiers, right?
Correct.
Awesome. Does he have? Well, in this case, should I give him bold or cautious engineering? I think I should give him one of them with this activation.
Let's go with cautious.
Yeah, I'm just always a bold man.
I mean, or you could give
I
him
mean,
that focus.
if you want to make him bold, if it fits his character better, then like by all means do
Well,
bold.
we have a cautious chief engineer, so I feel like a bold transporter chief, you know? It all balances out.
True enough. True enough.
Okay. I'm just going to pop on bold engineering. I'll always swap it out later. So I'm going to now use bold engineering, generate 1 threat, and roll 3 dice. Let's go.
All right, you get 2 momentum out of and if I can find my transporter, it is there.
Next time I'll give him a transporter and replicators focus.
And doctor, you are whisked away to sick bay. We'll come back to you.
All right, sounds good.
All right, so I believe Mendrock was going to download the ship's logs and database.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna spend 2 threat here, and give you a complication. You're not too familiar with this kind of computer system, so it's going to make this ultimately a difficulty 3, and this is going to
Okay.
be a control and either engineering or security.
Well,
And I will allow assist for this. Probably
Alright.
1 assist.
I'm going to use control engineering and computers as a focus.
Yep.
I can assist with this. Nadon, unless does your control engineering beat a 14?
Meets but not beats, so go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, and I can use the focus in computers.
I'll buy a die with one momentum if possible. And the complication range is
Back to 1.
back to 1. Alright. So I'll spend the momentum for the extra die. I don't know if I can take that off myself. And
Nice.
Dear God.
Not bad.
that's what I do, Commander.
All right, I'm just gonna throw this in the general chat because you guys kicked ass on.
Here's all the data, Commander. Looks like they're doing a little traveling.
And you guys get 4 momentum out of it, so you have 3 and so, of course, there's always more information to learn if you guys want.
Is there information about that planetary system?
What exactly are you looking for?
Oh, number of planets, type of sun, anything. Did they actually go or originate from one of the planets?
Okay, I'll take one of those questions.
Which one did they either go to or originate from? For starters.
Yep, 1 second. I gotta
Sure.
double check it. All right, so I believe you guys have 2 float remaining.
Commander, it looks like there's a M-class planet in the system nearby called Muck Prime. That's interesting.
What was that name again, Chief?
Oh, pasting it in the wrong place.
A mook. Okay, nice. Well, Nadon, do you have any questions given the information?
Since you have so much float.
Questions for everybody.
Um, I think my question... Have we had a chance to listen to the audio logs yet?
I figure I will save that for when you guys are in the conference room.
Okay. Then...
Mostly because I only want to say them once.
Is there any apparent damage to the oxygen supply or reasons why the person appears to have died? Like, do they look like they had a medical emergency, or is it literally just that the oxygen supply ran out?
I will accept that I'm typing something to you.
Okay. That leads to another question of why did it run out, but hopefully the logs will help us with that. Okay, so
Based on the logs, do we have any sense as to what the craft's mission was?
I will not accept the question because you cannot learn that information at this time.
Okay.
Reasons for that.
Okay. Well, that was my question. So, Nadan, I mean, if you want to ask your follow-up.
One of the follow-ups can't be answered until we go to the conference room, but that other planet in the nearby system, the Amuk Prime planet, does that one have any oxygen in its atmosphere? Or like enough oxygen that you could scavenge some from there? Or do we need to like go there and scan it to know?
I'll accept it.
Okay. So at the time, they would have been able to potentially refill their oxygen supply at the planet, which means that something prevented them from being able to refill their oxygen supply. What? I don't know, but anyway.
That's interesting. Well, thank you both for your work. DeGrasse will tap his comm badge. DeGrasse to the captain.
Go ahead, Commander.
Captain, we've got some information on the craft. Might be good for us to meet in the conference room to discuss. Specifically, we have some audio logs taken from the craft's pilots. Figured it might be good to listen to them as a group.
Understood. Meet in the conference room in 15.
Thank you, sir. And I'll let Nadan and the chief know to meet me there in 15.
All right, awesome. So before we do conference room, I believe we had some things to do in the sick bay. So the doctor was beamed inside an isolation chamber, still in an EV suit with the mummified body of the pilot.
Yep.
So what would you like to do?
Well, so the first thing I want to do is run preliminary scans to find if the victim or the pilot or whatever we're calling it, if they died of natural causes and then the radiation took them, or if it was in fact something with the ship where the radiation broke through the ship's shielding or hull plating or whatever was potentially protecting the ship.
Cool. Yeah, I'll
Basically,
give you a roll. So
preliminary
this will be
scans.
reason or insight with medicine, difficulty of 2.
Oh, it's not terrible. You said insight medicine, right? Would xenobiology work here,
Yes,
or
I will allow xenobiology
okay?
in this case.
Complication range is
Normal.
Normal. Okay. Do you guys mind if I spend a single momentum for a third die, so that I can activate cautious?
I'm not sure if you really have to ask anybody. I think it's use it if you
I
need it.
figured I should ask just because, in case anybody thought that we might need it for later. But
Yeah. If
thought I
memory
should ask
serves me
anyway.
correct, yeah, if memory serves me correctly, this is you don't need permission chip.
Oh, true enough. I don't know.
But you guys could correct me if I'm wrong.
I mean, it's a shared pool, so I figured I
Yeah.
should ask
I've,
anyway.
I've had no issue using momentum, so
I'm cool with it. We've
Oh,
got
well,
lots.
I got 4 successes, so thank you. Thank you for the extra.
All right, so you get the 1 back, and then you got 1 float.
1 floating. All right.
Right, then I gotta give you some.
All right, let's find out what I found out. Oh. Okay.
If I could put the right tense in there.
Yeah. Yep. No worries. Okay. So.
Then you have 1 float and a bunch of momentum if you wanted to ask anything else.
Yeah. Having ran all the scans on the pilot, could I reconstruct what he looked like before he died? Get a better picture of
Sure.
what they look like?
Sure. I'll give you a roll for that.
Would that, I guess that counts as my floating, or
You know what? I think we'll do that.
is that
Yeah, I'll use it.
okay?
So you plug the DNA sequences. You plug plug the skeletal and muscular features into the computer and ask it to put back a holographic image of the pilot.
Mhm.
And the pilot is actually a female.
Oh,
And
interesting.
it comes up, it's a fair-skinned species, darkish brown hair, um, things like that. Again, pick an alien of the week, glued on facial
Right.
structure. I'm probably gonna go like a cranium ridge or something.
Yeah.
Um, but
The
yeah,
typical, the typical Star Trek stuff.
right.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's a female with a cranium ridge. Other than that, looks almost human.
Almost human. Yeah. Interesting. So I enter that into the record, and then compile everything, compile all of my findings so that I can debrief the crew on my findings once we have our little meeting, and then
Oh, and
okay,
I guess the other question
what else do
you
I-
asked that I didn't answer in that first one was the radiation was after death.
Oh, yeah. So the radiation was after death.
Yeah,
Interesting.
so
Okay.
they were hit with the radiation after they died.
Oh.
So
Huh.
so they did not die of radiation. They
Yeah,
died from
but
the
they're
other
they're so totally toasted now. There's nothing that
right.
there's no way I could do anything for them. Okay. Uh Great. Well, I mean, at least we know sort of what they potentially might look like if we, can go to the planet and their planet still,
Hmm.
can support life.
Yep.
Great.
Cool.
What else can I do? What else can I ask about? I guess anybody else have anything? Because I can't think of what else I could do. I think the only thing that I can think of to do is like yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know what else I could do.
Yeah, if we got nothing else, we could head to the conference room.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything else.
Cool. So after some time, the senior staff meets in the conference room to discuss all of the findings.
I do. So our female pilot did in fact die before the radiation hit. She died of asphyxiation. I was able to take enough scans and gather enough data on the subject to create a rough guesstimation of what they might have looked like as well. And I pop the image onto a monitor so that everyone can see.
And the image comes up that you formulated in.
Cool. That's what I have.
Thank you, Doctor. Commander, what did your team find out?
Well, quite a bit, sir. We have detailed readouts from the craft's computer systems, really as much as we could pull off. It appears the craft, as indicated by Lieutenant Nadan, is a primitive warp craft. And it originated from what was once at least a Class M planet nearby, which we have the coordinates for. and it traveled approximately 1 light year, and returned around, and it was on a return course back to presumably its home planet. And we do have what appear to be 3 audio logs as well that we have waited to investigate until all of us were gathered together.
Commander or Captain, I'd like to add that I restored power to the vessel, but it had a primitive life support system using liquid oxygen, which apparently ran out, and it's trying to return possibly to its homeworld. So that's
Well, one step at a time, Chief. Commander, if you don't mind, go ahead and play those logs.
Yes, Captain. And DeGrasse pulls out a pad and starts the first audio log.
All right. So the audio log will start playing, and what you hear is a female's voice that is soft in both tone and demeanor. Talira Elxander log. The first test of the FTL flight system was a success. This is an incredible accomplishment, not only for the Ascendancy, but for Amuk Prime as a whole. Never before has our entire peoples worked for a common goal. But the shortages of basic supplies has driven our protectorates to threaten war. But this endeavor has the potential to unify our peoples and use what little resources we have left to venture beyond our star and look for resources elsewhere. I have hope that this will cause a golden age for our people, one of understanding, of cooperation, of peace. That is the end of the first log.
Seems peaceful enough. It's a shame whatever happened 90 years ago prevented the Kent or even the Kepler from making first contact with them.
So I'm understanding the log correctly, Captain, her species just became, or 90 years ago, they became warp capable.
That
Yes.
was certainly my assessment as well.
But if we haven't heard anything of them and there's no evidence of them outside, could be that shortly thereafter they self-destructed as a society.
Well, it did seem that they were being other factions within on their world were threatening war.
Maybe a source for our radiation. Maybe a source for this triangle. But again, that's pure speculation. Apologies,
Chief.
I'm just speaking out loud.
The craft was designed with, proper shielding, was it not?
it did have functional shields, yes, Captain. I'm sure they went offline when the pilot ceased living eventually.
Well, the the power ran out.
Yes.
In either case, situation as you suggested, Doctor, could be linked. What's the second log state, Commander?
And with that, DeGrasse will play the second log.
Talira Elxander log. I don't know what happened. I engaged the course back to Amuk Prime and was hit by some type of energy wave. It came out of nowhere and caused the FTL flight system to disengage. The system's read is operational, but the flight system will not engage. Without the FTL system or chemical propulsion, I'm afraid I am stuck out here. And with no way to contact a Moot Starboat Command, I don't think they will have any reason to assume that I have survived the first test. What was that energy wave? Anyway, our chemical propulsion starboats do not have the fuel capacity nor the speed to make a rescue attempt possible. I estimate it will take 200 years for the fastest starboat to reach me. I am afraid I will be long dead by then. I will continue to try and gauge the FTL flight systems. End of second log.
Well, I believe that answers that question.
Terrible.
Chief, what she experienced would have been the same thing that we experienced when our FTL systems were. Our warp drive was overheating.
Do I have?
Do you believe what she experienced, Chief, is what a similar experience that we had when we first entered the region?
Yes, Captain. I would believe that would be the same situation.
Mendrock, give me an Inside Engineering difficulty 1.
Okay. Focus, warp core mechanics.
Yep.
I'll go ahead and hit a third die with a point of momentum. Re-roll that one. Cautious.
Alright, you get the momentum back.
Captain, I believe that they would definitely have experienced the same warp issues as the Kepler, which would have been similar to ours, only our systems being more advanced, were able to handle it better.
It only took Starfleet nearly 90 years to develop more of the variable geometry warp cores. Commander, if you please play the last and final log.
And DeGrasse plays the log.
To Lyra Alexander log. It has been 10 rotations since my starboat hit that energy wave. I have all but run out of my emergency rations and water supply. The liquid oxygen is running low as well. I estimate that it will run out in 2 rotations. 3 if I lower the density. All attempts to engage the FTL flight system have failed. If my people get these logs, I hope that they realize the great accomplishment they have made and will continue to work toward reaching out past our star and gathering the exo resources needed for our continued survival. Should I be found dead, please return my remains to my family's crypt in the grove of the Emerald Skies so that I may be reunited with them in the afterlife. Delira Alexander's final log.
That Dr. Corin just stares off through the window.
Doctor, please to make sure that have the remains placed in a stasis pod so they can be later transported to their homeworld. We're able to reach it.
Yes, Captain. With your permission, I'll go do that now. And Corin starts to stand up. You would think you would think after nearly 20 years of being a doctor it would be easy to hear. It would have gotten easier to hear people suffering. I guess it never gets any easier. Excuse me, but I'm going back to the medical bay for now. And Dr. Corin just walks off, not even waiting for any kind of command or anything.
I believe we're coming up upon their system. Should be arriving there shortly. Hopefully, maybe they're still around down there, but we'll find out soon enough. Anything anyone else would like to add to this discussion?
Nothing from me, Captain. I hope this person gets the opportunity to be honored as the hero that they were.
Hopefully so. But as fellow star travelers, I think we owe it to her to bring her home. With that being said, you're all dismissed. Be on the bridge shortly.
And DeGrasse will get up and exit.
And I think that would be a good place to call that the end of scene 1.
Woof.
Okay,
Huh,
start
that
of
was tough.
scene 2. We'll go ahead and drop you guys out of warp at the edge of the star.
Nice and steady helm. Lieutenant Nadon, please begin initial scan of the system and scan for any vessels in or around this area.
Will do, Captain.
All right, Nadon, this is going to be a reason or control with your science, assisted by the ship's sensors and science, difficulty of 3. Which I think that would make it a difficulty 2.
I will not spend momentum. I'll just make do with the base roll.
All right, then we just need the ship. All right, you get a momentum.
Sweet.
Nadon, I sent you the info.
Great. Captain, it's a red giant star system. There are 11 planets, one of which is the MK class planet that we can assume is probably Amuk Prime, which I guess means the red giant star is the Amuk system star. There's some debris in the orbit of the M class planet of Amuk Prime, but I'm at this range we can't identify it.
Mr. Casey, anything on subspace or radio frequencies?
I will check now. Is that a roll GM or?
Nope.
Captain, no communication.
Helm, bring us in orbit to around Mook Prime.
Yes, Captain. And after about 15 or 20 minutes or so, the helmsman puts you in orbit of Amuk.
Lieutenant?
Now that we're closer, I'll repeat the scans.
So what are you scanning?
For one, the debris, but also the planet to see if there's any signs of advanced civilization.
All right, cool. So these are going to be two separate scans. Which one would you like to do first?
Probably the debris to make sure there's nothing in there that could pose an immediate hazard to the ship.
Okay, so scanning the debris, I'm going to make a reason or control using either engineering or security. Base difficulty of 3, assisted by the ship's sensors and whatever discipline is used.
Okay, so I'm going to use reason engineering. Therefore, I'll be assisted by the ship's reason or sensors engineering, I guess.
Yep, so it'd be sensors engineering.
Yep.
Perfect, you guys got it for after the. The parentheses is something else, so you don't have to worry about parentheses stuff.
Okay,
Dramatic flair and such.
I see. Yeah, so I will put the put it on screen just to aid in identification and say, Captain, there's a Federation starship in orbit.
So on screen, it is not a Federation ship in orbit. It is
What
a
remains of it, rather.
piece of saucer section. And Adon, as you zoom in, you are able to read a name, USS Kent.
While they're doing that, I'm going to scan the planet and make sure that nothing hostile is about to start shooting at us.
All right, so you're going to scan the planet.
Yes.
All right, so this one is going to be reason or control Using science or engineering, difficulty 4. Assisted by the ship's sensors and either probably science in this case.
Okay. I'm going to spend a momentum to get an extra die. Or spend momentum to get an extra die, rather. Rolling, and then the ship's sensor science.
Okay,
3.
you do not get momentum, but you pass the check.
Great. Whew.
And there's a lot of information.
Dear. Oh. Oh dear. Captain, it appears the planet's society is undergoing or the planet's climate is undergoing a nuclear winter. It appears these species went to a disastrous war about 85 years ago, and it does not appear that there is anything that remains of this species. As well, it appears that the rest of the Kent may have crashed onto the planet.
Any life signs on the surface of the planet?
No, Captain.
Well, Captain, it looks like the pilot came true.
Still leaves the mystery of what caused that subspace shockwave. Lieutenant Nadan, is the saucer section of the Kent in a stable orbit?
So to clarify, it is literally just a piece of the bulkhead.
Oh.
You know, the part of the saucer section that has the name on it.
So I guess we'd have to land in the mountain range to investigate the debris further.
Is that where it... Commander, assemble a away team and depart on a shuttle, one of the shuttlecrafts to investigate the crash site. Hopefully, we can find some information as to what happened here. Hopefully, some of the Kent's logs are recoverable.
Understood, Captain. We'll get right on it.
Don't need to remind you, EVA suits and take all the precautions you need down there. Even though our sensors can't pick up life, doesn't mean there isn't any down there. There could be creatures still left underground.
It's a good point, Captain. We'll be sure to take every precaution. Okay. So for this away mission, let's take Casey, the doctor, the chief, and Nadan. Do you want to come with us, or do you want to stay on the ship?
I can come along, Commander.
Okay. Everyone, be at Shuttle Bay in about 20 minutes. And yeah, I'll put in the order to have EV suits, weapons at the ready. Well, not at the ready, I guess, but be sure to take our weapons. Doctor, do you think we'll need anything?
That's a good question. I mean, I would suggest. Well,
Just
I
like
mean, I'll be
radiation
taking
there.
I'll of course be taking my medical kit and anything that we might need as far as that goes, in case the worst should happen. But it
Do
might
you
be a
recommend?
good idea to set up multiple teams just in case.
Do you recommend radiation meds?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. There's like these radiation inoculation hypo
Yeah,
sprays.
radiation. Yeah, definitely need to do anti-radiation meds, and depending on medical scans, once we get down onto the planet, we may have to modify our routine of applicating said meds, but we'll have to see.
Understood. We will follow your lead as far as that's concerned.
Yes, sir. I'll do it. I'll do what I can.
Thank you. And for pilots, yeah, I guess we'll take Connell Nay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I will go about setting up the team and getting everybody set up with all of their meds and all that stuff, and then once we're set up, then I'll let the commander figure out what else we need to set up.
Mendrock, did you want to come along as well?
If you need me, Commander, I am there.
Always.
My concern about the nuclear winter, though, we may, even if we have the shuttle, if we're going to be exploring or searching the wreckage, we might want to set up some kind of shelter or have some extra power in case we need it to bring anything online in the wreckage.
Actually, now that I hate to interrupt, but with so much of our command crew off on this mission, with all due respect, Commander, this might not be the best move. It might be better if we send a it might be better if I attach a medical personnel to your away team and I stay on the ship just in case. Someone that's, just as capable as me of handling any such medical shenanigans, but it would probably be best not to have our entire command staff away from the ship. Unless
Are you saying you're afraid, Doctor?
Yeah, that's not expedition like.
no. That's not what I'm suggesting at all. I'm just saying that having as many of the command staff on a single mission might not be the most what's the word I'm looking for?
Technically, Doctor, you're not
strategic.
part of the command staff. It would only really fall to DeGrasse and Casey because they're the more two senior bridge officers.
True enough.
Yeah, and just out of character, to be honest, I mean, if this was a military expedition, like the command staff would stay on the ship almost at all times, and we would send down secondary officers. So,
That's
but
true.
yeah, in
That's
character, if you would rather assign someone else and you stay on the ship to man sick bay, where there's more technology and you can receive any injured, totally okay if that's your decision.
I guess a rule of thumb with this game that I've always played by is if a player character can go, usually they go just because well, I mean the player character in your case you could not go, but to give everyone a chance to play their characters, I guess is the logic.
True enough. I just feel bad.
No worries. I mean, you can play.
You can send another character, yeah, if you want to play a support.
No, I guess I'll go as Doc Corin. I don't know. I don't know. It is what it is. I guess I'll go.
Okay.
Just thought I would bring it up because it's like a Starfleet protocol thing, but I don't know.
Yep.
At least we're not setting both the
Technically, I do
captain
have
and
that
the
as a
first
focus.
officer.
Technically, I do have Starfleet protocol as a focus.
It refers to flag officers more so, but usually you don't send the first officer and the captain down, so one of them has to stay on board the ship. Mainly the captain, unfortunately me, stays on board the ship as long as there is a security officer down on the away team, then the commander is okay. So there is nothing out of regulation here.
True enough. Well then. Sounds fine to me then.
Well, with that, I think we're ready to go. If anyone else has or doesn't have anything else they'd wish to bring.
I'll just bring my phaser.
Sounds good. And then
yeah,
Lundrock is bringing the
I'm
extra
just
supplies. Good idea.
I'm just bringing my standard here, and if need be, an extra like portable battery or something.
Yeah, as far as I'm going with the medical kits that I can bring on a mission, and that'll have to do. Hopefully I have a little bit of everything, so for any kind of shenanigans that might happen. Okay, right. First away mission for the new ship. Okay, I'm ready, I guess.
Oh, don't worry, Doctor. Our hazing process isn't too bad, so I think you'll enjoy it.
Well, here we go. And Corin sits down and straps in, or whatever shenanigans needs to happen. Oh, is this my second away mission? I guess it technically is my second away mission. Yeah, true enough. True enough.
So when everybody's situated and ready to go, DeGrasse will give the order to depart and take us down near the wreckage.
Okay, so we're gonna call this the scene 3. So you guys will go down a momentum. And to successfully land near the crash site, I am going to make this a daring con difficulty of, let's go 2, complication range 2.
Small craft or atmospheric flight?
Take your pick.
Okay, so both would apply. Got it. Take a threat and spinning 2 momentum. The shuttle assisting.
Yep, engines con. All right, so far 2 momentum gained. Come on, complication. Boo. So Colonel Ney expertly pilots the shuttle to very close to the edge of the crash site. Finds a nice little clearing there amongst all the dead trees and debris strewn everywhere. And you set down on the planet.
All right, everybody get ready. Try to do this as quickly as possible. This atmosphere, I'm sure, makes us all nervous.
Yes. Don't want to stay here any longer than is absolutely necessary.
Well, Doctor.
Nice flying, by the way, Cannell.
Well, Doctor, just let us know if you think the radiation or the other elements in the atmosphere might become hazardous to our health.
And I pull out my tricorder and keep active scans going.
All right.
Let's keep an eye on this. Right. Keep an eye on your oxygen. Keep an eye on your batteries. And let's stay within eyesight of each other, and we shouldn't have a problem.
All right, so you guys step out the shuttle?
Yes.
All right, so the away team steps off of the shuttle, and you notice, and you're able to notice what is left of the USS Kent. And one of the first things you notice is that several large sections of the hull is missing. And you can presume that these sections were salvaged from the ship long ago. It has been salvaged so much that most of the ship is stripped down to the bare support structures of the ship. So it's really just this is support beams, some turbo lift shafts, some deck plating here and there, but most of it's been stripped.
That's not ominous at all.
Also, Doctor, on your tricorder, you detect what appears to be a mass grave not far from this location, but you cannot get a clear determination on what is there.
Commander, if my tricorder is correct, I'm detecting several dozen bodies off in that direction, and I point in the direction that the tricorder's leading me.
Change that dozens to hundreds.
Oh, shit. Several hundred bodies.
I suspect that would be about the right number for the crew complement. Wouldn't it?
Potentially.
That would be in the range for a ship that size. Well, Doctor, how far away is it?
Voice in my head? How far away is it? Approximately 1,000 meters, Commander.
Mr. Casey, please escort the
northeast.
doctor to the location of the mass grave. Doc, try to gather any information you can and see if that's the crew.
Will do. Right. Northeast.
Oh, is Casey away from keyboard?
Oh, he might be okay. Yeah.
Well, orders
Oh.
are orders.
I will head in that direction, and I'll just kind of like push Kate. I'll push Casey's avatar in the direction. All right, let's check this out.
Okay, so basically you guys can do whatever you guys want on the planet. With the ship. Just let me know kind of where you're going.
Since I scavenged so much of the hull and debris, is there any? I'm sure there's no signs of tracks or markings of who or what did it.
You are correct in your assumption. There's no evidence of any current tracks to this location.
Can I detect any of those materials with my tricorder within range? Like, were they called off by native species? If any?
So your tricorder scans are very limited because of the radiation and you're still dealing with the effects of the particle. So your tricorder scans are very limited.
Okay.
And what you are able to detect is hard to decipher. So from your tricorder, there's no way to determine where these pieces went off to.
Well, if there's a mass grave or such, then it's likely that whoever scavenged the kit probably was not a survivor. At least of this magnitude of scavenging.
The ship is stripped down purely to the frame, basically, right?
That is correct.
Okay.
Like you can't see the nacelles, like they're gone, but the structures supporting them are still there. But like the entire nacelles are gone, possibly destroyed, maybe salvaged. Most of the plating on the outside is gone, so you're able to see inside. Like you could get the framework for like what like each of the rooms looked like. But there's no furnishings in the room. There might be a door here or there still on, maybe a bulkhead, but you're pretty much looking at the frames, the skeleton of the ship.
Perfect. Wanted to make sure that there was no computer system remaining or anything like that.
At the very least, not that you can tell from here, but it looks
Okay.
pretty gutted.
Perfect.
Nidon, can you tell me what else is in the area? Are there any, you know, old habitations or anything of non-biological origin?
I will see what we were able to detect on the way in, Captain.
Give me Insight Science difficulty 2, Nadon.
Okay.
We'll-
Science.
We'll see if you remember some of the locations of things.
I will say I remember having, when I scanned the city, seeing hundreds of basically ruins settlements. Could I pull up that record from the ship or ask the ship to transmit it to us so I can cross-reference with our current position?
I will, but it will be difficult.
Okay.
So this is probably going to be on the magnitude of difficulty 4. Mostly because you have the comms interference to deal with
Okay.
from the particle, which would increase the difficulty by 3. So this would be a difficulty 4 task. But it's possible.
All right. I'll try to do that then.
Can I assist?
I would welcome assistance.
I could probably let you do this from the shuttle with the assist. And I think I will go control engineering and the difficulty 4 assisted by the shuttle's comms and engineering.
Great.
And while you guys are on that, I'm gonna go to run to the bathroom really quick.
All right. I will spend a momentum to get an extra die.
We didn't mention what shuttle we were taking, did we?
I don't believe so, no.
I used the Saladin because it's
The
the one that
Saladin.
could fit six people.
Okay. Said it was. Yeah.
Okay.
Comm engineering.
Cool. Engineering. And then
All right, I'm back.
You were gonna assist as well, right?
GM, did you just allow the shuttle assist or?
One person assist and the shuttle.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because I figured the shuttle has 2 consoles that you can use, and then the shuttle itself.
Would you accept computers for focus?
No, this is more of a communications deal.
Cool, cool.
Whew.
All right. There is a complication on the table. What would you like to do with that?
If folks don't mind, I'd like to spend to get rid of it.
Already done.
Great.
All right. So the ship sends you down a overlaid map of the area, showing the crash site and a couple ruined cities. The closest city, ruined city, is approximately 2 kilometers away.
It's about 2 kilometers in that direction, and I'll point.
And the runes do show this to be one of their more larger cities.
It does appear to be.
One of the larger ruined cities, quite possibly a capital.
Yeah, it does appear to have been a major city, possibly a regional capital.
Okay. So I'm assuming Mendrock is, I think, still back at the ruins of the ship. So DeGrasse will tap his comm badge and say, DeGrasse to Mendrock.
Mentor here, Commander.
Chief, in your estimation, is there anything that we can salvage from the remains of the ship, or is it essentially completely gutted?
Without further investigation, it looks completely gutted, Commander. But, I mean, the structure is here, so I'd have to go crawling around in it to see. But from the looks of it looks like it's pretty gutted.
Okay. Based on your recommendation, we'll help you investigate the remains, see if there's anything that we can salvage from it until we hear back from Casey and the doctor.
Sounds good, Commander. I will continue scanning the wreckage and look for anything sellable, assuming there's anything that left behind.
All right. So we'll jump to Casey and the doctor. Probably after a good I don't know, a good 15 to 30 minute walk, you guys eventually make it to the site of the mass grave.
Well, this definitely seems to be the place.
Yeah, what do I see? Like, is it an open mass grave or is it just like
It is
a
actually
field?
buried. It is, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a field. Yeah. I mean, you could tell that you know, like nothing grew over the grave.
Mm.
So like you could guess that the death of the planet and the ecosystems probably happened shortly after this was dug.
Doctor, do you have a way to estimate how many remains are left here?
I could probably, out of character, I could probably use the tricorder to scan for the medical tricorder to scan for that and do some kind of thing for that. But with all the radiation and stuff, it would probably jumble everything up. But I can try. Voice in my head, can I estimate the bodies, the body count?
Hold on, I gotta do a little math. It will be a roll.
Okay.
You're trying to find the number.
Yeah. What's the what's the count of everything that's sort of in the general vicinity of us?
Okay. Cool. Yeah, okay, I think I know what number I'll use. Go ahead and roll me a reason or insight medicine difficulty of 2.
Okay. Would xenobiology, infectious diseases, composure, or
I'll take xenobiology.
xenobiology will work? Okay. Was there a complication range attached to that, or
Normal.
normal? Okay. How do I want to do this? I hesitate to do so, but I'm going to spend the last of our momentum to gain a third die just in case. That way it will activate cautious medicine. I got 3 successes. So I think I got the 1 momentum back.
Yep.
You said difficulty 2, so.
Yep, so you guys get 1 momentum.
Yeah.
And I sent you the
Okay. Where is it? There it is. Yeah. Well, this is all kinds of horrible. I'm getting readings of approximately 600 bodies here. 500 Federation and 100 and approximately 100 of the native race. At least that's what my tricorder is telling me.
Interesting. Well, then we know what happened to at least a good portion of the crew.
Yeah. Well, this is all kinds of horror. Dr. Corin to Commander DeGrasse.
Grass here. How's it going, Doctor?
Commander, Lieutenant Commander Casey and I have made it to the mass grave, and at least according to my scans, it seems as if there's approximately 500 Federation bodies here, as well as an additional 100 or so native bodies. I can only guess as to the condition of any of them or what happened. If you've managed to find any logs or anything from the ship, that might tell us more, but
Can you confirm that these are indeed Federation bodies and that this is ship's crew?
Yes, sir. There's definitely Federation species in this ground. Without digging up any of the bodies, I can't be 100% sure, but I don't know that I would want to.
Rest assured, Doctor, there are no grave robbers aboard the expedition, so we wouldn't expect you to do so either. Well, thank you for the investigation. If there's nothing else for you to look over, you and Casey can feel free to join us back at the remains of the ship. We should be finishing up our salvage shortly.
Roger that. Is there anything else around the area? Any buildings or anything? Any ruins of anything?
Nope. This is basically just an open field.
Okay.
Like you know, like a little hilly landscape since you're by the mountains, but it's basically just open.
Would it be possible to surmise or hypothesize how all of these bodies died? Like, I mean, obviously the ship crashed, but did the crew die on impact, or was it like, were they down here on the planet and then the ship crashed because it ran out of power?
Those are good questions. However, you will not be able to get that from the bodies
Okay.
because they are basically skeletons.
Okay.
So trying to determine the cause of death is
Wouldn't help anyway.
yeah, it's impossible.
All right. Well, there's nothing I can do here. Let's head back to. Let's try and see if we can get in the ship and find any kind of logs or anything. Unless I don't know. I don't know what else to do here.
Well, Casey is going to look around for a couple of rocks to make like a little cairn.
To make a little what?
A cairn?
Oh, okay.
Marker.
Yeah. Go ahead and give me some insight security, Casey. Diff 1.
Sure. Focus and observation.
Yep. Yes, you're able to find several of the rocks that are required to build your
Okay. Is it finished or you have to roll again?
Yeah, I mean it'll take you some time to build it. And while we're so you're able to do that in after maybe about 20 minutes, and then you guys start heading back. In the meantime,
Corin notices Casey doing that. He at least helps put the thing together.
Cool.
And then we'll offer a. He's not necessarily a religious individual, but he'll at least offer a small remembrance and then head back.
Cool.
Before and then on the top of it, Casey will say to the doctor, make sure you hold on to your badge. And he takes his comm badge and sort of puts it on the top of the cairn. It's sort of like the marker of who lies there.
Sounds good. So while all that's happening, we'll go ahead and go to away team number 2, who I believe was going to go salvage.
Yeah, so I'm looking for anything that might help figure out what happened.
All right.
Computers or the like.
So is there anywhere in specific you guys want to go?
Well, there's no bridge anymore. So engineering?
Okay. So you guys are taking your time trying to go through the ship. Obviously there's no turbo lifts at work anymore. So you guys are basically crawling around on Jeffrey's tubes, trying to climb, from the outside, you know, on you know, like ruined, like on a ruined walls and stuff. So what I'm gonna need you three to do is give me a fitness security check, difficulty of 2, as this is exhausting. And this will be for Nidan, Casey, and Mindrock. Sorry, not Casey DeGrasse. Sorry. Nidan
I'd rather have
DeGrasse.
Casey take that role for me.
Well,
Would survive.
I probably can make it.
I have the chiseled physique of a desk jockey.
All right, and then we'll see if DeGrasse, if those holodeck training programs with Casey pays off.
Let's hope so. Survival for a focus?
Yes.
Awesome.
All right, you bank a momentum out of that. So DeGrasse, you feel fine, like you know, like those holodeck programs with Casey are starting to pay off. You feel like you could do this for another 4 hours. Nadan and Mendrock, however, you guys are starting to feel very winded. You know, you're starting to get tired. You know, your bodies aren't used to this. So until you guys are able to get a rest, your complication ranges for all tasks going forward will be 2.
Well, Commander, this is a lot harder when there's no tower or lifts to take replaces. I'm just not built for this kind of physical work.
You know, I'm feeling pretty good actually. Nice to get out and, you know, do a little movement, get out of the chair on the bridge.
May have to take up a talk to Commander Casey about an appropriate exercise program.
Well, he's done wonders for me. Nidan, how are you feeling?
A bit out of breath.
Okay. Well, let's ease back a little bit. Go 50% if we have to. And let's not put ourselves into any precarious situations. Understood?
Aye, Commander.
Yes, Commander.
All right. So the group continues its way, making their way through the ship. And you guys get to a quarter. You're getting closer to the engineering section, but you're not quite there. But in this part of the ship, you're starting to see that it's a little bit more put together. Not as much has been salvaged from this section. Can everyone in this group give me an insight security check? I'll make this a difficulty of 2 as well.
Sorry, was this the other group or the one I was in?
The other group.
I'd like to spend the momentum for a third die and activate cautious.
So this is security, so I don't know if it'll activate for that.
Oh yeah, yep, totally blinked on that. Alright. Guess I will just spend it for a third die and pray. Of course.
Okay, so Nadan gets you a momentum. Everyone passed this. There is the complication on the table, Mendrock. So what would you like to do with that?
If we gain the momentum, can I squash it?
If you'd like, yes.
Yes, please.
All right, so you
don't-
guys are at 0 momentum. So as you guys are walking through this hallway, you start to notice that there are scorch marks on the walls in this section. And your experience with security would lead you to believe that this both comes from phaser fire from Federation weapons, as well as some projectile weapons, as there's some dents and burn marks and holes in these walls as well. You definitely believe that there might have been a close quarters fight in this section.
Well, this will interest Casey as well as the captain. Then they went down with a fight, at least, Commander.
Indeed. The only assumption could be that they would be fighting locals. DeGrasse taps his con badge. DeGrasse to Casey.
All right. Before that call goes through, however, we are going to jump to the other group of Casey and the. So at this point, you guys are on your way back. You're probably about halfway there. When so what I need both of you guys to do is roll me an insight security check. I'm gonna make this a difficulty of
Alright.
3.
Oh, well, then in that case, I'm definitely activating I'm a doctor, not the chief of security, which allows me to use my medicine instead of my security.
Sure.
Would any of my
Please.
values apply?
Your values. Let me take a look at them.
Like, maybe no plane survives enemy contact. I don't know if I'm getting ambushed. There's light at the end of the tunnel.
And sorry, what attribute did you say you were?
Insight security,
Insight. Okay, thank you so much.
or in your case, insight medicine.
Insight medicine.
Casey, I will give you a value.
All right, I'll spend determination then, and observation for a focus, maybe.
Yes.
Awesome.
Is there? I wonder.
Excellent.
Is there anything for my focuses?
Oops.
Composure, maybe, or no? That well,
No, probably not.
oh, I don't think I have anything. Not for this.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Frick, and we're out of momentum.
All right, so Casey, you actually rolled 4, right?
Yeah, because spent
Right.
determination.
So Casey, you did gain 1 momentum. So now you have a momentum if you wish to use it.
Oh.
Is it 1 moment or well, yeah, you can spend it. I'll survive whatever complication. Hopefully.
Well, we would need 2 to deal with the complication anyway.
So you just
yeah,
need to
I'm gonna
roll
spend it.
5.
Yeah, I just need to roll stupid amounts of.
Come on, 5 successes.
Come on. Okay, that's 3.
Yep.
So that's.
So we just had the complication. You both succeed.
Mhm.
We just had the complication to deal with.
Yeah.
Well, I have no options, so.
We have no options. We have
In
no
this
way to
case,
deal with
Casey, I am actually going to take it as threats.
Roger that.
And so both of you notice, because I'm going to nest you guys on top of one of the hills on the way back. You guys notice in the hill below, coming from the direction that you guys were just at, possibly following you, are 5 individuals in rudimentary hazmat gear.
Oh, shit.
They seem to be carrying what looks like reverse engineered Federation phasers from 90 years ago.
The Rathacon phases.
Oh,
But they are. But the one thing you notice is that they are definitely reverse engineered. You know that they just look different. You know, like there's
So
wires on the outside. There's
they're probably
makeshift
not phasers,
batteries.
They're probably closer to disruptors than anything else. Shit. Okay.
You haven't seen Casey in combat yet. Don't worry. If it comes to a fight.
So
well.
this is a, we've seen them, they've seen us situation, is what
Oh
you're
yes,
telling
they
me?
are trying to. They are basically running at you guys,
Oh,
and
well,
you guys basically caught them
caught them.
trying to run.
Okay, well, in that case, I immediately draw my Type 2 phaser and point it in their direction and set it to wide area stun and pull the trigger and roll for initiative.
Roll for initiative, eh?
Casey's going to interject, like, Doctor, please. We don't know their intentions yet. These could be the last survivors of their race.
They have phasers. I'm not gonna die on this fucking dirt ball.
Doctor, it is my responsibility for your security in this situation as it is with all members of the crew. I promise you, you will not die on this rock.
All right. Fine.
Now,
then I don't fire, and I.
Now, I did leave my
phaser
comm badge,
away.
so I do not have access to the universal translator unless you wish to give me yours. How good is your diplomacy?
I mean, I can try.
Would I be able to use through his comm badge? I don't know how it works.
Yeah, probably.
Okay,
yeah, probably.
Then we're good. I'll piggyback.
Okay.
So are they within earshot?
So if you guys are waiting, they are going to actually come up and surround you. With their weapons drawn. And yes, they probably get close enough if you guys are just waiting for them.
Shit. Okay.
Who are you?
Dr. Corin raises his hands.
I am Lieutenant Commander Arno Casey of the USS Expedition, and this is Dr. Corin Beck of the USS Expedition.
Where did you come from?
Well, we come from a political entity known as the Federation. We come in peace and mean no harm to your people.
Have you come past the star?
Wait, which star? Did I miss something earlier? Other players?
I think what they mean is, do we come from outer space? And technically, yes.
Are you answering that in character?
I am.
Awesome.
Technically, yes. We come from a very, very far. We come from very far away.
Then you have come to finish us off. Seize them. And they all start moving closer.
I can assure you that we mean no harm and no ill intentions.
You could tell that to our clan chief.
The moment they move on, the moment they move on Corin, Beck activates, and I activate my joined ability and activate a new focus self-defense. And the moment that they lay a hand on me, I grip them by the wrist and turn them, and using their own momentum against them, flip them onto the ground.
All right, go ahead and give me daring security opposed.
Okay. I'm using not the chief of I'm a doctor, not the chief of security. So changing daring security to daring medicine. And yes, I have a focus. And task roll. Let's see. Do I want to? What do I want to do? Do I want to give you threat? Not really, but what do I want to do here? Screw it. Yeah, take a threat for a third die, and go. Oh, I got 2 successes.
I will spend that threat to
I
also
bet you
roll
will.
a third die.
Shit. Come on, roll bad. Roll bad.
Oh dear God!
Yes. Oh my God.
Go ahead and
Yes.
go ahead and roll me damage, Doctor.
Okay.
So I believe this also adds your
Oh,
medicine
shoot.
score to damage. Is that how
Yeah.
that talent works?
No.
No, I don't think so.
All right, so it's still security for
Let me
damage
look
then.
at the. Hang on. Let me look at the talent.
It's just for one task, too, by the way. And you have to
Oh, is
spend
it?
your determination to activate that talent.
Oh really?
Do you?
Yes.
Really?
Yep.
Am I overusing that? I didn't realize. My
Yes,
bad.
you are.
My bad.
It's in the science book, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Page really quick.
When is talent?
47.
Once per. Oh right, once per scene. Before attempting a task using the selected discipline. Oh, I have to
Okay.
spend determination in order to use that.
Yep.
Never mind. So
you already
screw
spent
that
your
up.
determination.
So yeah, let's just call it determination spent.
What's
Okay.
your security?
My security is 1.
All right, and what's your daring?
They would have
daring
hit.
is
It's 9.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's the roll. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong one. Yeah, so you still got 2 successes, and they still got 2 critical fails. So yeah, so please roll 3 challenge dice.
Okay. Slash. Or 3 challenge dice. Okay.
Yeah, or the unarmed strike damage on your sheet.
Okay. Oh, I got 2 effects and a red 0.
Yep. So you're able to grab a hold of one of them as they try to approach you.
Mhm.
And you're able to flip him on the ground, and he lands in such a way that his head and neck hit the ground. And because of the fall and the force that you threw him with, it gives him a lethal injury.
Oh shit. Okay.
As you hear the bones in his neck shatter. And he writhes in pain on the ground and falls unconscious.
Okay.
As now the other ones draw their
I wasn't
weapons.
expecting that.
Casey's gonna like drop his phaser, and he says, "Please, I can help him."
Put your hands up and give up, or you die here.
Do you want your friend to die too? I can do something about this.
Do you surrender?
Yes, I surrender.
And they start looking at the doctor.
fine. And Beck drops out, and the face of Corin comes back, and he's like, oh shit.
And two of the guards grab the doctor and bind his hands behind his back. And the one that was speaking motions to Gacy with his weapon to help him.
Okay. The doctor watches the chief of security do emergency surgery.
All right, Casey. So this is going to be. So you're trying to stabilize him, I would assume.
Yes.
And because of the injuries and the force in which he hit, I'm going to make this a difficulty 3, daring medicine.
Okay. I would like to spend emergency medicine focus, I assume.
Yep.
I would like to spend our momentum and generate 2 threat to roll 4 dice.
And yeah, so Casey, you grab the doctor's med kit and you try to grab some sticks and stuff that you could use to try to stabilize his neck. And you're able to do that, and you're able to stabilize him. So that at the very least he's not going to die, but he is in no way out of the woods yet.
Can I just give him like a hyper spray for the pain until we get him back, I guess?
Yeah.
Awesome.
You do all the things, give him for the pain, you stabilize his neck. So once you finish, they point a gun at you and kind of motion to start walking toward the east.
Awesome.
And then we will go back to the group on board the Kent. So eventually, you guys make it back to, or you guys are able to make it down to engineering. Again, this part of the ship is not as salvaged as the rest of it, but this was not untouched by salvage. You guys enter engineering itself, and you notice that the warp core is missing. Several of the computer consoles are gone. Some of the blast doors are gone. There's no trace of any dilithium in the engines or in the containment field itself. The containment, the lithium containment is mostly pulled as well. But what you guys notice is that this was not ripped out. This was actually disassembled. So it wasn't hastily done. It was almost expertly done.
Chief, are you saying what I'm saying?
I am, Commander. I'm wondering if some survivors from that experiment with the ship took this apart.
Could be some locals.
Well,
Either way.
Yeah. We should probably try to reach Commander Casey and the doctor.
I'm going to see if I can get one of the consoles up and running, see if we can pull some records.
All right, go ahead and give me a control engineering difficulty 2.
I will assist with that.
Actually, you should probably take the lead. This is
true.
More in your wheelhouse than mine.
I will do that. So control engineering. And we still have a complication 2 range.
Yes.
Alright.
Where do we edit that, by the way?
It's just in the task roller. It's above the it's, you see where it says complication. Nope, that's not it. Yeah, you see where it says complication range.
Yeah.
That's where you
Okay.
edit it.
Perfect.
Computers.
Yes.
Alright. No momentum. Alright.
Using my focus wouldn't have made no difference.
All right. Wow, you both roll ones. So you guys get 3 momentum out of that, and you're able to get partial power to one of the one of the computer consoles that were left basically intact. There's still components missing, obviously.
Is there enough there to get anything useful out of it? Like information, files.
Did you guys get the roll?
What?
Did you guys get the roll?
Yeah, we did.
Okay. Everything just went quiet, and I didn't know if I disconnected.
You gave us the momentum, but I never heard the results.
All right, so maybe it did.
Oh, okay. So another.
Yeah, okay. So I think it did cut out temporarily. Okay, so the next thing you guys got to do is pull the information out of the computer.
Yep.
And this one is going to be daring or control using your engineering or security difficulty of 4.
I'd like to buy a die.
Don't forget you have determination too.
Yeah.
This is one of those good times to potentially spend it.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and spend my determination.
Does my focus on computers apply?
Sure does.
Yeah, that's why I was going to use mine too. So understanding technology is better than people.
That works for me.
All right.
Does collaborative problem solving yield better solutions work in this case since we're working together? Stretch.
For a value?
Yes.
So you're doing the assist, so you wouldn't be
right.
able to use you wouldn't be able to use determination like.
Right. Makes sense. Right.
I'll re-roll the complication.
Okay.
Process.
All right. So I have 6 successes total. 4, 5, 6. So you guys will get 2 momentum. And I'll post the information in the expedition chat for you guys.
Sounds good. Well, this is disturbing, Commander. If this was the epicenter of the anomaly or whatever, that, and then they got shot by the locals. It
Yeah,
appears they obviously degenerated into the
So
war.
so I have coordinates listed. I should probably add that the coordinates listed are not this system.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood that. Then.
Yeah, I should have made that clear. That is my mistake. So they were making their way to what they thought was the epicenter, which is listed as somewhere else when they happened upon this system, and we're hoping to find the Kepler here. If that makes more sense.
That does indeed make more sense. Well, then they were still attacked by the whatever was left of the natives.
Indeed, it is disturbing. Maybe the pilot was right. Seems to be potentially violent peoples. Or
Yeah, they apparently ended up in war and
yeah,
destroyed themselves due to this obvious nuclear winter.
yeah. Interesting that the attacks would have, the nuclear winter would have come after the crash landing of the Cup, or yeah, what is this? Not the Kepler. Which one is this?
Kent.
The Kent. Interesting that the nuclear winter came after the crash landing of the Kent. And they had weapons that were able to shoot down what would initially appear to be a starship that would be much more advanced than what technology they had access to.
Well, it's possible they had damage from the radiation or issues they were having with their warp drive.
So
Maybe their sensors and stuff were unaware of what happened and they got surprised.
it's a great point.
I recommend we take this back to the captain and get off this rock before something terrible happens to us.
Couldn't agree more. Let's download all the logs that we can. Prepare to head back to the shuttle. I would say at this point the commander would notice potentially that the second await team hasn't made it back to this location. So he'd tap his comm badge and say, "DeGrasse to Casey."
Unfortunately, you do not get a reply.
Darn. We'll try again. DeGrasse to Casey.
Same result.
Tap it again. DeGrasse to Dr. Corin.
Doctor, do you like high or low?
I think the Russians are intercepting him.
So that might be fitting.
Excellent reaction, Corin.
Hello.
Okay, that's right.
Sorry.
So doctor, do you like high or low?
Let's go with high ?
Okay. I'll roll a d20. Unfortunately, Commander, You do not get a response.
Taps his comm badge. Awaits into expedition. Does anything get through the atmosphere?
DeGrasse, I'm going to need you to give me a control engineering difficulty 3 to make that communication work. Because you're trying to get it to the ship. You know, particle interference now.
Yeah, gotcha.
Like I'll allow for short range and stuff, but when you're trying to go planet the ship, I gotta jack that difficulty.
Makes sense. Oh, is Mentrock? He's gonna be back.
But so since you're the one trying to do the transmission, it's gonna have to be you to do it.
Darn. Okay. So you said control engineering difficulty.
Yep.
Nothing in communications, unfortunately. Yeah, I'll take a momentum for a third die.
Bless you.
Excuse me, sorry. Allergies.
Would sensor operations apply? I'm really reaching here.
No.
Computers?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah, the only thing I would accept here is communications. Or unless you had like subspace theory or something, then maybe.
Nah, astrophysics would be the closest.
Nope.
So no. All right. Yeah, I won't get it anyway, so we'll leave the complication.
Okay.
So I'll look at the other two members of my away team and say, well, I'm not receiving anything on comm badges. Could certainly be the environment. So, are you two okay to make the trek back?
We'll have to hurry. Should be all right.
Yes, Commander. I'll be all right. Should Mendrock and I try to reach the ship as well? We might have some luck.
So actually what I'm going to do is I am going to spend this complication because I just thought about it after the fact. I'm going to say that you guys are too far out of range of the shuttle to make the bridge back up to the ship. So you have to basically get closer to the shuttle to be able to communicate with you. Just so everyone can't try it.
Makes sense.
Okay. Let's
head back to the show.
Yeah, slow and steady, team. Let's head back.
All right, and we'll head back to Casey and the doctor. Who are being led heading to the east. Do you guys say or do anything during this time?
No, I guess just follow them.
Yeah, I don't know that there would be. Honestly, I don't know that there would be anything that I could say that would, that wouldn't just escalate the situation.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I think they're not big fans of you right now, so.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys are being led along, and you come to the edge of, kind of like a dead forest. All the trees are dead, are burned. There's a bunch of trees and branches lying on the ground. You get to the edge of it when the party the party that you're with starts taking fire. In the first few volleys, the two lead guards are instantly hit and drop to the ground. The other team, the other two behind you starts returning fire, but quickly they are overwhelmed as well. And after a few short moments, maybe about 10 seconds, it is just you and the doctor, with um, four bodies laying on the ground.
Can I pick up my phaser again?
Sure can.
All right.
Also go to pick up my phaser.
And out of the tree line appear six other armed individuals. But this time they're holding actual Starfleet issued phasers from 90 years ago. It's not the bulky reverse engineered stuff like the other group had. These are legitimate Starfleet issued phasers.
Oh.
Even the firing signatures were that as well.
Oh, okay.
And they are approaching.
Who are
they
you?
wearing, are they wearing Starfleet regulation EVA
No,
suits?
they're still wearing like the same type of hazmat suit
Oh,
that
okay.
the other group wore.
Are they in earshot?
Yeah, you could probably yell loud enough at
Yeah.
least.
Okay.
I mean, even through your EV suit.
Mhm.
In case you would just yell. Who are you?
And one of them kind of holds up his hand, stopping the group. Looks around his group, looks up, and yells, "Are you Starfleet?"
Yes, I'm Lieutenant Commander Arno Casey of the USS Expedition, and this is Dr. Corin Beck.
And the guy removes his hood, revealing that he is human.
Casey will put his phaser back into its holster.
Dr. Corin will very slowly, very carefully put the phaser away and go for his medical tricorder and open the tricorder.
Okay. What do you do?
I'm going to scan the human to make sure that to make sure that they are actually human and not some kind of mirage or something. Oh. Lieutenant Commander, they do have human DNA. They are indeed human.
Well, certainly an interesting development. I guess Casey would start to approach them, sort of like
I
meet
will
halfway.
follow behind Casey, staying
Alright.
approximately,
All right, so we'll go
an
ahead and
appropriate
enter a new scene here.
Okay.
And as you approach the group of six, they walk up to you too. They put their guns to their side. They still have it ready, ready for anything type stuff, but they're not aiming it directly at you.
I guess Casey would just put out his hand for a handshake. EVA suit shake.
He just kind of looks at it, not really sure of the custom. Where do you come from?
Well, I'm from Earth. And he'll look at the doctor.
Well, technically many places, but I was born on Denobula, but I am actually of the race known as the Trill.
We have heard of these places.
As I said before, we come from the USS Expedition.
Is it a starboat?
Yes, a starship, we would call it.
Why have you come here?
We were sent as communication had been lost with probes in the region, and as well to investigate the disappearance of 2 vessels, one of them being the USS Kent.
We are the descendants of the USS Kent.
I see. And how many of you are there?
We mustn't speak here. It is too dangerous.
Who were these people who captured us? Wait, and were they like the aliens? Like I could tell through the hazmat. Like
If you peek one open, yes.
okay, yeah. And
Remnants
that guy,
remnants of the ascendancy.
and that guy who was injured, was he like wiped out, or was he still just being kind of carried along?
They actually left them.
Oh.
I mean, not in the way you're thinking. Like, we'll go back and get them types.
I see.
But they kind of left them there, kind of hit them a little bit, and we're going to go back and get them. But anyway, so they said it's not safe here.
Well,
One of them was left behind. He was injured. I think we could help him if we go back now.
Too dangerous. The ascendancy always comes back.
Well, the Ascendancy hasn't actually seen me fight them yet.
They
What is
will
your
be-
name?
I am Thomas.
Pleasure to meet you, Thomas.
We have a cave dwelling not far from here. It is safe.
Very well, then. If you believe that the Ascendancy will come back for their injured compatriot. Doctor, what are your thoughts?
Well, like I said, I don't want to die here. So let's do whatever we can to get out of here. We should, I guess we should go and treat the one that I injured, but the longer I stay here and the longer he goes without his helmet, the radiation. How are you withstanding the radiation, by the way?
We have supplies and doctors.
Right. Well, unless you're against it, Lieutenant Commander, let's get out of this field or wherever we are at the moment. We can talk in at least some measure of cover.
Very well. We shall follow you, Thomas.
All right, so you guys are just following them to their cave.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
All right. So eventually, Nadon, DeGrasse, and Mendrock, you make it back to your shuttle and are greeted by Kellen Nell or Kennel Na. Your con officer.
Did Commander Casey and the doctor return?
Well, I don't see them anywhere here. Colonel Nay, have they returned?
Do you want to play him, Prax, or?
No, they have not, Captain or Commander. Now I'm doing it.
No, I like it.
I
honestly.
mean, I am half asleep because I'm bored to death right now. So
Oh, come on. We'll get you something to do. All right, well, let's try to use the shuttle to see if we can broadcast a broader signal. See if we can get them on comms. Mendrock, anything you can do?
I can try to boost him. See if I can enhance because I've done it before. Can I enhance the signal to?
This would be control engineering difficulty of 3, assisted by the shuttle's communications. And I'm going to be right back.
I'd like to spend the momentum and try to use computers as a focus if possible.
he's AFK.
Yeah, I know. I'm just thinking out loud.
It's probably gonna be subspace communications or along those lines, or subspace theory.
Oh, yeah. I don't have that. I'm just hoping the complication range ain't 2 anymore.
All right, I'm back.
Is the complication range still 2?
Yes.
Alright. So I have a focus that won't apply. Probably not, but if you need a communication one, then I don't have one. But once you permit computers,
Nope, no, computers will not apply.
alright. So I'll just go with what I have then. Could re-roll the 0 since I spent the momentum.
Mm-hmm.
Let me do that. Let's see.
Yep.
Hey,
So you are able to reestablish communications with both the ship and the other.
alright.
Great work, Chief.
You're welcome, Commander. Let's get us out of here if we can and find our teammates.
You read my lines. DeGrasse to Casey. DeGrasse to the doctor.
And so both of you are able to pick this up.
Hey, Casey here, sir.
Dr. Corin here.
Gentlemen, a little late getting back to the shuttlecraft, are we?
We've encountered some interesting developments, sir.
Seems there's a group of survivors as well as a group of hostile natives. We encountered the hostile natives first. They took us captive, but we were rescued by the descendants of the USS Kent. We were on our way back to their cave or hideout or something.
But you're both okay.
Yeah. No physical injuries on our end.
Okay. You said survivors. This crash happened 90 years ago.
Yeah. Slight slip of the tongue there. The
Did we lose the doctor?
Yes.
There he is. Doctor, it seems our communication might be slipping in and out. Oh, lost him again.
Okay, that was weird. Sorry about that.
Oh, no worries.
There was I guess the natives or the descendants of the natives, and then the descendants of the USS Kent. We are currently, as I said, we're currently with the descendants of the Kent.
Okay.
We can.
Are you free to come back to the shuttle, or do you need us to come pick you up?
The doctor just looks over at Casey and then looks at the leader of the survivors or the descendants or whatever. I'm assuming he can hear
Probably.
the conversation.
The crash site is half a kilometer to the northwest.
Commander, if you want to bring the shuttle here so that you can talk with the descendants face to face. The crash site, I give him the crash site or our location or whatever. But I would very much like to. I would very much like to speak with the survivors.
We're on the same level, Doctor. That was more of a test to determine if they would allow you freedom of movement. But communicating with these descendants would likely be something that the captain would like to take charge of. So let me communicate with the ship.
Might be the case as well.
Yeah, let me communicate with the ship, and we'll coordinate a response. Gross out.
Roger
And,
that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying Roger that.
And DeGrasse communicates the expedition. Away team, the expedition.
What's your status, way team?
Captain, we've had a few interesting developments down here. We were able to salvage information from the ruins of the ship. However, two interesting occurrences have come about. First is that the doctor and Casey were able to locate a nearby mass grave that contains both native remains as well as apparently the remains of Federation personnel, presumably from the crash ship. The other, perhaps more interesting development is that Casey and the doctor have apparently found some descendants of the ship. Figured you might be interested in reaching out to their leader to have some sort of dialogue.
See if they have a way of communicating through subspace. If not, you can proceed with negotiating with them in person and perhaps bringing one of their leadership above. Keep in mind, this is still in prime directive, so these descendants, we don't know whether or not if they could ever acclimate back into Federation lifestyle.
Understood, Captain. And please be advised that apparently the native inhabitants are hostile. So there may be a little danger down here, but well, hopefully we'll be safe in the shuttle. We'll let you know if we need anything.
Very well, away team. Good luck.
Thank you, sir. DeGrasse out. Colonel, can you get us to the coordinates that the doctor gave?
You will say, of course.
To be honest, I was just wanting to hear Prax do the voice again, but you know.
I was waiting to.
Okay. All right, everybody strap in.
Right. To get the shuttle over, this is going to be a control or daring with con difficulty of
What's the difficulty?
1.
Take a threat.
Right, get a momentum out of that. And the shuttle lands safely next to Casey the doctor and the 6-party team of the
Did we make it to like their cave or?
probably not. No, it's still a little far away. And the shuttle's fast.
So DeGrasse and the remaining away team will exit the shuttle. Ah, Dr. Casey. And the descendants, I presume?
I am Thomas, and this is my scout team.
Nice to meet you, Thomas. I'm Commander DeGrasse of the USS Expedition, and he extends his hand for a handshake.
And again, he just kind of looks at it, not familiar with the custom.
Ah, I see. You also might have had a bout with coronavirus on this planet. So, we'll cut this now. Well, Thomas, can you tell me a little bit about your team, about this area? You said this was a scouting team. Are there others?
We occasionally send out teams to scout the area and try to find salvage.
How many are there total of you?
Our number are about 500.
DeGrasse glances at the rest of the group.
Both of us and of the native.
And these natives, they're completely hostile to your group.
Those of the ascendancy are, yes.
There are others?
The ones with us.
I understand. How old are you?
30 rotations around the star.
And your parents? Were they from the ship?
That is correct.
So you're just surviving down here.
Surviving, studying the planet and its effects, building a home.
Would you allow us to review any research that you've done on the planet? Anything that you've gathered?
For the past few years, we have been working on a way to reverse the radioactive effects of the nuclear winter caused by the Great War. Our scientists believe that it may be possible to reverse these effects. This planet is dying, its people suffering. We are small in number, but if we can clean up the planet, then the whole race of the Amuk can thrive again. We, however, lack the means in which to do this. But you have a starship, do you not?
Finest ship in the fleet, Thomas.
Then perhaps you can find a way to help where we have failed.
Lieutenant Nadon, do you have expertise in climate or planet weather dynamics, or I believe you have expertise in geology, correct?
I do, yes.
Are you familiar with what they're talking about?
Somewhat. Certainly I could study it and see what I can come up with.
Thomas, how much are you aware of things that are off this planet?
We only know of things on Amuk Prime.
But you understand that there are other worlds beyond the star.
The ancestors did speak of other worlds beyond the star. They came from such a place. Some ancestors call Earth home, some Vulcan, but they come to call Amuk Prime home. This is home now.
In this ascendancy, why do they attack you?
They are the descendants of the ascendancy that attacked the original ancestors when they crashed on the planet, stole their technology, used it to start the Great War. Thought that they could acquire all the planet's resources for themselves, control it. It is estimated that 95% of all former Amuk perished during the Great War.
It's a tragedy, but I can assure you that most, if not all, of our planets have had extremely destructive wars in their past.
I'd like to insight check the Thomas. I'd like to insight check him.
To what?
If he
What are you trying to learn?
If he's telling the truth, if he believes what he's saying, or if
All right, give me
or if
insight
there's some
command
other motive.
difficulty. Give me insight command difficulty of 1.
Insight command. Okay. Would psychiatry fall into this?
Yeah, I'll give it to you.
Okay. Oh shit. Oh, it's a natural 20. That's not good. And we don't have momentum to get rid of that anyway, so I guess I'm keeping that complication. So I got a success and a failure.
All right. Yep. And that includes both your passing and the complication.
Okay. He seems to be telling the truth.
DeGrasse nods his head. Well, Thomas, let me see what I can do. I have a captain who's eager to hear about, well, your group and the happenings on this planet. I'll report back to her and we'll see what we can do.
It would be appreciated if you could make the skies clear again. But if you cannot, we understand. And we will continue to work in our own way to clear the skies.
Before we leave, can I take some atmospheric samples on the way out of atmosphere, Commander? To aid in the work?
By all means, and feel free to ask them for access to their research. I'm curious as to what they think they could do to reverse the effects on the planet.
Commander, I'd like to make a request as well, if I may. I'd like to stay here and try to help heal some of the people here. See if I can't lend a hand see if I can't lend a hand.
Of course, Doctor. Aren't you glad you came along? Get to do a little charity?
Yes. Something like that.
Good for the
And
soul.
Commander, if you wouldn't mind, when you do get in contact with the captain, could you have her send down a couple of my medical staff? I'd like to make sure that we do as much as possible to help where we can.
Of course. I can certainly make the request.
Thank you, Commander.
Casey, do you feel comfortable with the security situation down here?
Yes, sir. If they've held out for 90 years against the hostile groups in the area, I don't see any reason why the doctor or our personnel would be immediate danger as long as they're carrying personal weapons.
Understood. All right. Nadon, please gather the samples and see what you can find. I'm going to go have a chat with the captain. So DeGrasse goes back to the shuttle and relays all the findings back to Prax.
Expedition 2 away team.
Captain. Yes. Did you read over the data we were able to send?
As to find a way to put an end to the nuclear winter on that planet. From what I've gathered here on this information, it seems that the section of the population, the natives, are rather hostile.
Correct, Captain. That is our understanding.
Even if we fix this world, Commander, and they choose to remain behind, that doesn't mean that assuming if there's weapons of mass destruction still left, that this world will not end up being a wasteland again.
That is true, Captain. However, there's always the chance that it may not become a wasteland. That by demonstrating the ill effects of this war, that it can be reversed, might I don't know, inspire hope or feelings of peace.
Is Lieutenant Nadon with you?
She's gathering samples and gathering more information, but I can call her over if you'd wish to speak to her.
No, let her gather her samples, and she's ready. I want the entire way team up on the ship as soon as possible.
Roger that, Captain. Additionally, the doctor requested that 2 members of his medical personnel be sent down to tend to some of these descendants.
Are they requesting medical aid, Commander?
My understanding is no, the doctor took it upon himself.
Then I will not. I will deny the requisition for sending additional teams down there.
Understood. Do you want us back as quickly as possible?
Indeed, and if you have to drag the doctor along, don't worry about it. He is making his own decision on this. I will not force him to come back to the ship, but insist that he returns to the expedition if there is no medical emergency down on the surface. Unless they are requesting medical aid, I will not provide any such aid, but I will be willing to transport supplies at a later date deemed it if the situation is safe on the ground. From what I can tell, 2 members of your away team were attacked by hostile indigenous life forms on the planet surface. I will not be subjugating other members of the other crew members on the expedition to such hostilities.
Understood, Captain. We'll let Nadine do her work, and we'll be back as quickly as possible. And DeGrasse cuts communications, walks out to the rest of the team, and informs Nadine to let him know as soon as possible when she's completed, and walks up to the doctor. Doctor, what does the medical situation look like for these people? Are they in dire need of medical attention?
Voice in my head. What should I do? What am I doing? What?
I'm typing something to you.
Okay. Well, Commander, surprisingly, the scout party seems to be in excellent health. They're showing absolutely no signs of any radiation sickness or ill health of any kind.
Well, it's fantastic to hear. The captain requested all of us up to the ship to meet and discuss everything that we've discovered. So I assume you'll be coming with us.
Yes, if that's what the captain is, if the captain has asked for me to return, then I must follow orders.
Well,
I will return. I will return with you. When we get back to the ship, I would like to make the request to go to the settlement, but we can deal with that when the time comes, I suppose.
agreed, Doctor. I found the captain to be relatively open to good suggestions, so she has a good ear. All right, away team, when we're finished, let's get to the shuttle and we'll head back to the expedition.
I've collected the data and samples, Commander. I'm good. I'm ready to go.
Okay, let's strap in.
And I won't make you guys roll. The 6 of you head back up to the ship without any issues. The scout party heads back to their cave system, and you guys are back on the ship and probably in the conference room for a debrief.
Commander, if you would mind giving your full report.
Sure, Captain. And for the sake of time, I'll just say that the commander gives a full report on everything discovered, and then opens the floor up to any other input from any of the other senior officers.
Dr. Corin gives his report and makes his request, but otherwise listens in to everything that everyone else says. But he's kind of like almost very noticeably only kind of half there.
Nidon will provide a briefing that the condition in the atmosphere appears to be a standard nuclear winter, and there appears to be several different particle types in the atmosphere that are responsible for the blocking of the solar rays, and that theoretically it should be possible to clear the atmosphere, but it's unclear at this point how much work would be involved.
Are the subspace anomaly particles helping to fuel the nuclear winter?
It appears at present that it's a fairly basic nuclear winter, but I can re-examine the data to make sure. I will say it does not appear at present that the particle is showing any signs of affecting the planet. It's many planets have magnetic fields that serve to deflect radiation. Could be that the magnetic field is blocking the effect of the particles.
My report definitely shows the Kent was scavenged probably by both sides, obviously. The survivors, I think, are the ones that probably took the care to take the engineering and the warp core out. They're probably using it to power whatever facility they created in the mountain to survive or underground. That's probably what they're using to power their community.
And the Kent was able to ascertain the location of where the anomaly happened, from what I'm seeing here.
Yes, that is what we gathered from the what data could from engineering computer.
If you guys are able to see the map, I'm clicking on where they believe the flashpoint occurred.
So 4 light years away ish. Very well. Thank you for the reports. Commander, if you would notify Helm to set a course for the third system on the list and have it ready.
Roger that, Captain.
You're all dismissed.
I'll return to engineering. Or actually, probably my bunk by now, because it's probably late. Get cleaned up and sleep.
Corin stays behind for a few moments. Captain, with your permission, may I speak with you for a moment?
Go ahead, Doctor.
Captain, I thought that I should tell you. Whilst down on the planet, I experienced something that I haven't experienced in quite a while. I'm not sure if you've read my file, but I am a joined Trill, and my connection with the symbiote let's just say we have a mixed history, and sometimes the symbiote will make me do things that normally I would not do.
Doctor,
I'm not sure what's going on, but it seems to be acting out again. I just thought you should know.
Very well, Doctor. If you need to take some leave time, in fact, I insist on limited duties for the time being. Perhaps you should see the counselor.
I have been meaning to check in with them anyway. Need to cross-examine psychiatry and such shenanigans anyway.
Of course. Is there anything else, Doctor?
No, I don't think so. Thank you, Captain. And no, never mind. And Doc Corin walks.
Commander DeGrasse.
Yes, Captain.
Has Helm set course for the next point of reference?
I'm communicating coordinates now. We'll have Helm ready to go in just a second.
When Helm's ready to depart, go ahead and warp out of the system at warp factor 7.
Aye, aye. and DeGrasse communicates coordinates and requests warp 7.
The course is laid in. The ship goes to warp. With what I'm going to assume is Captain Crack staring out the window as the stars go by. And I will call that the end of cost and effect.